Sorry for the mess. New canon Big Mac ship with Suagrbelle. What are you gonna do?
Damn it, Hasbro, stop blowing holes in my ships!
Yeah, I have to agree. Suagrbelle? Heck, I even have a collab with a friend where we talk about Sugar and Party Favor being a great couple, and don't get me started on the Big Mac ones. Then again, it's not as if Big Mac isn't shipped with pretty much every pony in the show. With that in mind, while there's a lot of Big Mac ships, some are definitely more popular and favorable than others. So out of all the ponies in the show, why Suagrbelle? Well, actually, after some thinking, I'm here to say that I think some pony like Suagrbelle is perfect for Big Mac. Let me explain. When it comes to romance, in stories or real life, there are only two ways it can go. For the couple to either get together in the end, which is the most popular outcome because it's the happy ending we all want to see. However, there's the much less common where the main character doesn't get with their crush. In stories anyways. This is why I often find myself more pleased when it turns out our main character story doesn't get the girl. Or guy. It's far more realistic and can show its audience that it's okay if you don't get together with your crush. That just because it doesn't work out doesn't mean it has to be the end, or that you can't take it with dignity and pride. I've done this very same plot in some of my own stories, and even characters like Max from Parenthood, who I always had considered to be one of my least favorite autistic characters for various reasons, I actually admired and respected when, in their final season, he ended up not getting together with a girl he had a crush on, and was even willing to sacrifice his own desires for her, just for her own peace of mind. However, while this is all fine and dandy, how does it relate to Big Mac and Suagrbelle? I mean, they're already together, right? True, but it does also lead me to the other, even more rare, outcome. The one where the couple does get together, but it doesn't work out in the end. Yes, I am calling it now, that Big Mac and Suagrbelle are one day gonna break up.
Hooray!
But AJ, how can you be so sure? And that still doesn't explain why he's not with Fluttershy or Cheerly. Well, first off, there's no way to ever be sure. For all we know, they will end up one day getting married in Season 10. But hear me out with where I think this is going. Now, when you look back at both the episode and the synopsis, it stresses that Suagrbelle is Big Macintosh's first crush. So why are they stressing Suagrbelle is a first crush rather than just a crush? Well, I can't believe Big Macintosh has never felt crushed before. I can't actually buy that he's never dated any pony before. Again, maybe a bit of a stretch, but one much more likely. So why the first crush mare friend? Well, let me ask you this. How many of your first boy or girlfriends are you still together with? If any of you say you're still with them and even married, then power to ya. But I think most people have to honestly say that their first loves didn't work out. Mostly because of either inexperience or for whatever other reasons. We've already seen this a bit in how Big Mac and Flash Pony try to win over Suagrbelle, so I'd be interested to see if this is where the story is going with Big Mac. Still, it doesn't explain why Big Mac hasn't just gotten together with someone like, say, Cheerly at first. To that I ask, how would you react if Big Mac ended up getting together with either Fluttershy or Marble, and they broke up? In most likeliness, such a story would have one of two results. Outrage among its fans, or people asking, how long will they stay apart this time? Which is part of the reason why you don't see this conflict too often. Because one of the biggest cringes with a breakup storyline is that most of the time it only ends up with the couple eventually getting back together. And in worst cases, it becomes nothing more than an on again, off again, how long are they going to stay apart this time kind of deal. However, because Suagrbelle was a rather unheard of Big Mac ship, if it turns out they break up, it'll be far more believable, relatable, and not cause such an outcry. While setting up what I think would be a rather nice scenario where he learns his failures with Suagrbelle to one day apply towards a more successful relationship with some pony else, as well as serve as a nice lesson to its audience about heartbreak and moving on. While I could actually see a story about Suagrbelle breaking up with Big Mac and him dealing with having to move on, another story, now that I think about it, that I could see appealing to its more younger demographic is a Big Mac and Suagrbelle breaking up, but the conflict is more centered around Apple Bloom or the Crusaders, as a way to talk to its audience about the issues of divorce. I probably think it is going to go more the route where Big Mac has to deal with the heartbreak, but I'd be really on board with that and would actually quite admire it for this choice of Big Mac's first crush. More importantly, maybe we'll end the shipping war too. I'm AJ and hope this video was worth your time. Yoo-hoo-hoo!